Hello, welcome to Handmade by Julia Quinn. I'm on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland, Australia. I'm up next for our stamp camp today, and I'm going to start with my fun fold, which is this diorama card. Now I'm just going to dial up to make sure I can see what you can see and that I'm all good, and know that, because I have a habit of tending to craft out of view of the camera, so I apologize in advance if I do that. But if I just bring up my thing so I can see what's going on, and then I can also make sure I cover up this bit. I think that is where my shine of my light is. Okay, so my fun fold is a diorama, and these lovely bokeh memorable blooms dies. Tracy used it really beautifully on her first card, but I was fascinated by the little window properties of this cute little die here. So like Tracy, I've done a few things ahead so that I'm not holding you up, and so that you don't have to watch me do the boring things over and over and over again. Now, if you got the kit, your kit would have come with this long piece, and it's scored, and the score lines are in the actual PDF when you get that, both in metric and imperial. When you're cutting out your little window, I would recommend you cut it out. So when you're scoring it, there are 2 large squares for the front and the back, and then your side walls. Okay, I'm just folding on all the score lines that are already scored. Okay. But when you die cut your window out, I would recommend you cut it on not the first square, but on the one in the middle, because then when you stick it together, the join goes at the back and you can cover it up. If you cut your little window in this section, when it comes time to stick it together, this little piece will overlap your window. Okay, so there's a little tip. Make sure you cut your window from the one that is surrounded by both walls, okay, rather than the one on the very end. I hope that you understand what I'm talking about there. So you cut out this little window, and the beauty of this die is you've got the stitched edge on the one that pops out, and you've got this lovely little eyelet detail on the window that's left over. So keep this. We're going to use this and stamp on that in a minute. The first thing to do is to, as I did, I might burnish along all of these just to make it fold a bit better. Burnish and fold all of your score lines. There we go. Here and here. And I like to, I've got glue on it already and I haven't even done anything. I like to use tear and tape when I'm making box cards or things that need to maintain their shape, because it's stronger and much easier to use because it sticks quicker. Okay, I'm actually going to use 2 strips because it's a nice wide tab left over. Okay, pull the back off both of those. 1 and 2. Okay, and the other tip is, when you've got fun folds like this, always, as much as possible, adhere it together flat, because you know that'll fit inside your envelope. Now it should fold both ways, but if you've got it flat when you stick it, you've got a better chance of lining up your edges much better, and you less chance of ending up with a twisted box. Okay, all right, that's step number 1. Step number 2, I don't know actually what I wrote in the PDF, so it could be something entirely different. But for today, I have done some, as I said already. What I did want to show you is, if you got the kit, this is your piece of scrap paper for your die cutting. So there are 3 pieces of cardstock. 1 for the card base, this piece for your 2 stamping and your fussy cutting. So that's all of these pieces which I've already cut out. And then the 3rd piece is this little one for the Starstruck embossing folder for the back of your card. Now I think in Imperial this actually works out to be a square, but in metric it doesn't. So the card is actually a little bit longer than it is tall. All right, so when you're sticking this in, let me just get that out of the way, put it in with the length sideways. Okay, so as I said, this is going to cover up that lovely join we had, and I'm just, hopefully you can see what I'm doing here, lining that up. There's a tiny little border all the way around. It's not exactly the size. There we go. Now, I'm not as brave as Tracy. I need to do my projects exactly as I've already planned them. I'm not brave enough to try different colours. And I do have to say I love a white on white look. I love the texture and the little eyelet detail and the lovely starstruck pattern behind. I think that's very, very pretty. Okay, now the stamping. This panel here that we cut out, I'm going to use as the greeting panel, the writing panel on the back, but we need to have it looking very pretty. So I had a scrap piece. I'm just going to get a scrap piece of paper behind. I am using Stays On ink with these beautiful line images in the Memorable Balloons stamp set. You can colour it in many, 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 many ways. So when you're making your project, you do it however you want to do. But for this design, I decided to watercolour it, which means I'm stamping in Stays On ink, Saddle Brown Stays On ink. I like Saddle Brown because it is softer than black Stays On. And I'm just going to stamp on the edge, not the whole thing, which is why I wanted the scrap paper underneath to embellish my writing panel on the back. Okay, I just need to clean that before I go any further. Okay, and I'm colouring with Crushed Curry and Pretty Peacock. If I'd thought ahead, I could have done pink flowers or purple flowers or orange flowers or red flowers, but I didn't think that far ahead. And I actually went for the Crushed Curry because I thought it went rather nicely with the gold open weave ribbon. That was my thinking originally. What I have done differently this time though is colouring my flowers using a Wink of Stella brush. Okay, now to get my colour ink, what I did do is just on a block, got my ink pad and went pat, pat, pat straight onto the ink pad with my Crushed Curry and Pretty Peacock. So then I have ink ready to go, and I'm using, as I said, my Wink of Stella with my Crushed Curry. So just get a little bit of ink and swish it around until it's, because it's quite intense colour, and starting from the centre where the darkest is, spread it out. The more, as with any watercolouring, the longer you spend colouring, the lighter the colour goes. It's more intense at the beginning. Okay, and a little bit, I'm picking up the shine very nicely with my lights here, but that's actually making it tricky to see where to colour, but I hope you can see okay. Okay, any more flowers? Here's another one. All right, and another one here, and I think that might be it. The rest can be leaves. All right, I'll just swish off my brush here so that goes clear, and I'm using Pretty Peacock for the leaves, but with a little twist actually, because Pretty Peacock is, as you can see, quite a sort of, there's a lot of blue in it, and when you colour with it, it actually looks quite blue. A lovely deep colour. Just, I love watercolouring. I'm not a precision colourer. I think it looks more artistic when it's messy and not quite coloured, and white space is your friend. All the masters have white space. This is what I tell myself. So there we go, and some little leafy bits in amongst here. Now, as you can see, that's quite blue. So in order to make it greener, I have used my brush and picked up the Crushed Curry and then done another layer over the top. So I've mixed my colours up to get that lovely green hue. Okay. I think originally when I did this, I must have had a little bit of crushed curry still left on my brush, but it looks nice and green. It looks nice and green now, and it's actually quite a rich colour. Okay, so that's all my colouring done. I'll just get you guys out of the way so that I don't get any more mess anyway. So now we're up to, I believe, the assembly of the card. Oh. All right, this one goes on the back, but it's not quite dry yet, so I might just leave that for a bit. These go on the front, and the same as Tracy was, you have to be fairly strategic in using your dimensionals. So I'm going to flip this over this way so that I know where my dimensionals are, because you don't want them hanging over and sticking the card together when you fold it out. Okay, so pop that out there. No dimensionals showing through, that's good. And this guy up here, I did like this because I wanted it to look like that bow that I'm about to put on is holding the spray of flowers. So again, flipping it over so that I sort of know where my dimensionals go, and perhaps one here, I think, and then pull them out. All right, and stick you up here. Oh, down a bit, Jules. There we go. None is showing on the inside, none is showing on the outside. There we go. The other way you could do is put your dimensionals directly on the frame and then just line your flowers up with it. Okay. Now for the beautiful wide gold open weave trim. That's how wide it is. I'll put it down here so you can see. I'm going to make my luxurious bow, double it, and then tie a bow, just using bunny ears. It's very easy to tie a bow with this stuff. And I like to fiddle with it a bit before I tighten it, because once you tighten it, it really does keep its shape really, really well. There we go. Okay, and I've trimmed off my ends there, cut this tail in half. There we go. It must be about to rain again. I can feel the humidity ratcheting up. Okay, there's my tails, and then I'm going to pull out my little bows so that it looks very luxurious. And my favourite adhesives with these guys and with the little beautiful bees is mini glue dots. So I'm going to stick on my bow, and while I've got my mini glue dots out, pop these guys onto my mini glue dots. They are very tiny, but oh, so cute. And just roll them along. Okay, and then with my take your pick tool, so that I don't wreck the adhesion, stick these on there. And in the course of using my take your pick tool, it does roll up the mini glue dots a bit, which is cool. One over this side, and then my bow over the ends of my bouquet there. And inside, I'm going to put my You Are Awesome. This is I think the ribbon makes it a really luxurious card to give to someone. I've run out of space here, so I'm going to use mini glue dot. No, not mini glue dot, mini dimensionals on this one. I just fussy cut this, but you actually could just use a little punch or a little die. When I was designing these cards, my craft room was out of action, so I didn't use a great deal of many extra things. There you go, You Are Awesome, stacked right in the middle, and then on the back, oh, extra bits. Luckily I've got something to cover it up. Wonder how I got that. Okay, pop you on the back. I love that we can make use of that bit we cut out. There we go. There's the back of the card. I do like the sparkle on the Wink of Stella. I don't know whether the lights are picking it up for you. It looks very, very cute. And there you go. You are awesome. Fits flat in your envelope for easy posting. And even the bow fits fairly flat too. But you would need a piece of cardstock or something to protect your mini bees. Thank you so much. In a couple of minutes' time, Sharon will be up to share some card making with you too. See you soon. Bye.